Basement, level vibes with another one, straight up, blackness aye. Who tell the truth? Mark Benscop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benscop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benscop, straight up from the root. Mark Benscop, who tell the truth? Mark Benscop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benscop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benscop, straight up from the root. Mark Benscop, I do it for the love, him not do it for no money. Straight up, him attack, educating everybody. Big up my friends and big up my family. Turn on the radio, catch the vibes, it's integrity. Straight up, Benscop stands for unity. One people, one nation, one destiny. Free up the truth in the air, even the blind can see. The deaf can hear, the dumb can talk, the cripple can walk. Boom. Who tell the truth? Mark Benscop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benscop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benscop, straight up from the root. Mark Benscop, who tell the truth? Mark Benscop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benscop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benscop, straight up from the root. Mark Benscop, we have to gather wrong, grab a seat and sit down, pay attention, education, liberation, we have to stand strong. Benscop upon the radio, lively up the program. Everybody call somebody and let them turn and tune and on the radio and catch the boom song. We boom it up already, we have to boom it up again. Expose and reveal him. Who tell the truth? Mark Benscop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benscop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benscop, straight up from the root. Mark Benscop, who tell the truth? Mark Benscop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benscop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benscop, straight up from the root. Mark Benscop, I do it for the love, him not do it for no money. Straight up, him attack, educating everybody. Big up my friends and big up my family. Turn on the radio, catch the vibes, it's integrity. Straight up, Benscop stands for unity. One people, one nation, one destiny. Free up the truth in the air, even the blind can see. The deaf can hear, the dumb can talk, the cripple can walk. Boom. Who tell the truth? Mark Benscop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benscop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benscop, straight up from the root. Mark Benscop, who tell the truth? Mark Benscop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benscop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benscop, straight up from the root. Mark Benscop.
Yeah, my name is Jacinty Caldata Francis Wakenham, and since 1965 I become a voter, and I always place my ex next to the cup, and what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data.
Oh, Jesus Christ, if cost of living double, I don't know what happened. A pound of sugar is $300 already. Flour, everything gone up. Everything just raising. You gotta get about $40,000 for buy good ration. You gotta get 3 man now. A weekend man, a monthly man, and a... How we gonna do a body man walk right now? You ready? Fuck, so let me go now. Hear me sing now. Body walk. Body walk. Body walk, body walk, truck, body walk, body walk, body walk, body, listen, body jump, 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 hear me sing, so, big body can't wear it, tight pants, big body just.
speak out. Freedom of speech done gone inside the gutter. Knock off when you open your mouth. Discrimination in entertainment, and you're talking about one Guyana. When the Ministry of Culture keep the big shows, one set of girls and banner. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people.
All right, good night and welcome to Straight Up. Everybody's fed up in Guyana. If you guys are so fed up, you know what you've got to do in 2025. You've got to fight. You've got to fight the PPP back. You've got to stand up and fight them. Politically speaking, that is. I'm not saying to go and pick up a broom and jump on a broom and go and fight them with a broom. I'm not saying that. Politically speaking, because you know the PPP, they love to play this victim game. They love a victim game. All right, hey, guess what? You guys wouldn't be seeing me anymore. Let me just say this. You wouldn't be seeing me anymore. And I know how some of you feel about this decision here. And I've just got to be straight up. You guys wouldn't be seeing me any longer. So however you wish to fight for the rest of the year, you wouldn't be seeing me for the rest of 2024. I'm not going to do another show for the rest of the year. So you wouldn't be seeing me for the rest of the year. I'm done for the year. However, all of us will have to be prepared for 2020. Real fight. Right, Karen Clark? Right, Rosanna? And all of you beautiful people out there? Golly God and all of you with them sort of names. Golly God, Golly this, Gaza Messe. Was it Gaza and what's the other one? And I'm getting old, man. Gaza Messe or whatever. Good night to all of you beautiful people. Siobhan McDonald, Carl Miller, well, except Brenda Casey. We can't say good night to Brenda Casey. Not tonight. Not tonight. Brenda's always getting on my case. But she means well. She's a good person. Brenda Casey, good night to you. Good night to all of you. Hazel Johnson, the whole crew. Deborah Timmers, Chisel, Chipper. What do you guys wish for us to talk this evening? Exactly what? What is there to talk about? For the entire 2024, we exposed the PPP regime. We told you guys what they're about and so forth and so on. We told you guys. We told you guys what we're about, right? Look, I wanted to get Tom Anderson tonight, but I wasn't even sure that I was going to make it on tonight with you guys. But Tom is going to be prepared. He's going to be ready in about another hour. I'm not going to stick around here for another hour. So if Tom could make it even before then, we'd love to hear, even if 10 minutes with Tom Anderson. Wayne Caesar is probably in hiding. I don't know where Wayne is, but we'd love to have Wayne for a couple of minutes as well. What are your plans for the new year, other than preparing to fight the PPP regime? And let me say this to those of you who are in Guyana. Do not tell people that you on the ground, and because you on the ground, you know more than those who are not on the ground. I know so many people, some of them are elected or selected officials who are on the ground in Guyana, and they're sailing. They don't even know what's going on. Outside of not knowing what's going on, they don't even do anything about what is happening, the corruption and all these different things in the country. I noticed someone said that we should talk about the cash grant. Yeah, there we go. Carl Miller. Good night to Mr. Miller. And thank you guys so much for all that you have done over the past, 24 months? What is it? Well, 12 months, sorry. Song like Air Finale there for a moment. 12 months. You guys have been very active, and especially those who share the link. They even have some co-chores within our midst. Everywhere you go, they have co-chores. They get some co-chores right in the midst, right there. I could point out two of them right now, but I prefer not to. Two of them I could point out. And if I point the two out, you guys are going to be surprised. I can point them out. If you guys want me to point them out, let me know. I can point them out right now. Right now. I'm no longer afraid of those coaches. I know who they are. They're right there in the audience right now. It's not Deborah Sharona Lynch. It's not Gloria Wilson. Um, Curtis Lutchman, how are you doing? Good night. I noticed someone said they're celebrating their birth anniversary. Who is it? Also, Chisel Chipper 68 is saying, Uncle Mark, I born today. In other words, he's begging for a birthday. Or Chisel Chipper, is it a he or she? These days you don't even know. But what they are doing is basically Chisel Chipper is looking out for a birthday request. But we don't do birthday requests here on 107.1 FM. We just don't do it. Hey, you guys, wherever you are, just wish Chisel Chipper a happy birth anniversary, whether he is or she is 60, 70, it doesn't matter. Wish Chisel Chipper a happy birth anniversary. All right, Golly God is saying skin them up, call them out, call them out. Dexter Haley is saying feelings. I don't know. Who is it? One of them, is it Black Stalin? Is it Stalin, Black Stalin? Saying, is he the one who's saying feeling the feeling? Or is it Arrow? Are you feeling the feeling, baby? Feeling the feeling? A lot of men in Guyana feel the feelings, the bumps raised, they get all emotional, all these things. But we're not here to talk about them and the bumps raised or whatever. We're here to talk about politics, right? What you guys want us to talk about today? Tell me. What exactly you guys want to talk about? Don't tell me about let us grade the opposition MPs. Tonight is not a grading night, because if we were to grade them, thank you, Bantu King. Shadow sing feeling the feeling. I used to love that song back in the days. Gosh, brings back lots of memories about Hyrule days. I bet enough of you don't even know Hyrule out in Brooklyn and where exactly Hyrule. If you know where Hyrule is located, then you're real Brooklynite. Real Brooklynite. Hyrule and where is it? Starlight. Memories. Good night again, guys. Welcome to Straight Up. My name is Mark Benshop. Somebody mentioned earlier the cash grant. The cash grant is a letdown. It is an embarrassment. It's corruption. That is what is happening. And because they never had a plan for the cash grant, Irfan Ali just rolled out of the couch and decided that they are going to hand out some cash. No plan, no nothing. And that is why it is a disaster. It will continue to be a disaster. And after that disaster comes a whole host of evidence of corruption. Hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars will go missing because they are basically, first and foremost, taking care of their friends, families, and whomever else. That is what they are about. That is what they are doing. There's nothing positive, absolutely nothing positive about it. Nothing positive about the cash grant, other than the people are getting their money, but they're getting crumbs back. It's nothing close to anything, as they say, generational wealth. Nothing at all. And so they continue to brainwash, they continue to rob the taxpayers of Guyana. And I agree with Dexter Haley. Visionless PPP. Visionless PPP. They have already been defeated in every way, shape, and form. The PPP has been defeated. It's just for the opposition to really get their act together. And I repeat, it's just for the opposition to really get their act together and beat the PPP. Can they beat the PPP? Yes, I think they can beat the PPP, but only if and when they get their act together. How many of you guys agree that the opposition needs to get their act together? The combined opposition that 218,000 of you voted for. They need to get their act together. How many of you have the faith or confidence that they will get their act together? How many of you want them to get their act together in 2025 in order to defeat the corrupt PPP regime? I'll be looking at your comments. How many of you guys believe that they should get their act together? We'll start off with that so that the opposition, members of parliament, and others should get their act together. Too much division, Ms. Deborah Timmers is saying, too much division. Gully God is saying, I do. Ostil Ogle is saying, how can you build wealth with $478? I don't know. How can you build wealth with $478? How can you build wealth with $478? That is so true. How can you, and not only how can you, what sort of wealth can you build with that? What sort of wealth can you build with that? Not a heck of a lot. Not a heck of a lot. In fact, what wealth? What wealth? Hardly, guys, and I'm serious, hardly any wealth you can build with almost 500 US dollars. That is what the PPP wants you to do. Join that long line, and then they make it look as though they're doing you a favor, right? So they make it appear as though they're doing you a favor so that you can go out and vote for them. Little do they know that the people are going to take the money, but the folks are not going to vote for them, which is a good thing. The money doesn't belong to the PPP. It belongs to the taxpayers of Guyana. And all the people, the 218,000 people that voted for the opposition, and even those who are disgruntled with the PPP, all they want is a strong opposition, an opposition that is willing and ready to fight for them. Not an opposition that pomposette themselves. Occasionally you see some of them in a little photograph. Occasionally you see them running around in photograph, if that is possible, and on Facebook and pretending that they are working for you. They're just not doing that. A lot of them, unfortunately, they're just more concerned about positions, positioning themselves for position. Now, you don't want politicians like that. And now I'm not saying that there's anything wrong to want a position, but you should fight for a position and make that the secondary focus. The primary focus is to work for people, whether you get a position or not. Patriotic people do that. Patriotic Guyanese do that. Work, work, work. Not when you find out that you're not going to be given a ministerial post, you're not going to be this, and then you give up and you don't want to campaign any longer. That happened in 2020. When a lot of them realized that they weren't going back to parliament or they weren't going to be placed as ministers again, they dung tools and they stopped working. They stopped campaigning. All of that happened in the 2020 elections by quite a lot of those members of parliament for the coalition and ministers for the coalition. They got vexed, their bumps raised. And so they refused to go out and campaign. They didn't want to campaign because they felt as though being a minister is the only thing that they can do to probably just put themselves in position. And so they weren't concerned about people. They were more concerned about position. And this time around, regardless of what it is, if you can join whenever there's a proper opposition, combined opposition, join forces with them and work to defeat the PPP. Don't work to put yourself in a position or fight to be Minister of Agriculture, a Minister of Home Affairs, and you want Minister of Legal Affairs and all. Do not fight for that. Once a position is allotted to you, accept it and say, when we win in 2025, I will accept any. That's what you should say to yourself. But they have a lot of opportunists within politics in general and also within the opposition. They have to move away from that. Work for the people. In 2025, I, on this program and on 107.1 FM, politicians who bluff their way and sweet talk you with little charm and so forth, we know who those politicians are. If you care to recognize one of them in the audience, it's okay, you can name them. Because we are not afraid to name. If you name somebody and I feel that that person is working hard enough, I will say, okay, spare that person, in my opinion. If you think that some of those MPs in the opposition are lazy and that you don't see them, they have about how many? 30-something MPs in the opposition. How many of you guys know your MPs? How many of those MPs do you know? Let me put you guys to a test. Who is the laziest of them all as MP? Fair enough. Go ahead. As an opposition MP. Name the person. It's okay. We ain't got licks to get right here. Name them. It's 2024. Nobody can beat we in 2024. Nobody can beat us. Hazel Johnson is saying Miss Best. Of course, you know Miss Hazel Johnson. Man, Best. BESS. Nima Flu Best. Yeah, we give Nima Flu Best credit. Yeah, don't mess wrong Nima Flu Best. Don't mess wrong she at all. You know why? Because I do believe she works. There's always room for improvement. There's always room to do more. But I'm not going to even entertain that with Nima Flu Best. She works. And the other thing about Nima Flu Best, is that she picks up the phone and she responds to messages. That's what we like. That's what we want. That's what we want. Karen Clark is saying not MP Best. What? When you say not MP Best, what do you mean? Not MP Best. I am saying that she gets a pass for 2024 because, in my opinion, she works. She works. I wouldn't say she's the hardest, but she works. She works. Who is missing? Who is missing in action? Somebody said, who? Karen Cummings, Dr. Karen Cummings. So you don't hear from these people. You don't see them. That is true. You don't hear from them. You don't see them. And then when you talk, they get vexed. They believe as though you don't even see. You don't. Is Geeta still an MP? Is Geeta still an MP? Seriously, is Geeta? Geeta is a friend of mine, but I don't even hear from her. Is she really? Is she still an MP? But when you say these things and you call them out, they're vexed. Their bumps raise. Oh, the one bench sharp. And they find all sorts of things now. Like one particular MP got called out by me. The MP said sometimes they don't understand my narratives. That sometimes they feel that because of my narratives, they feel that I'm being paid by someone or some organization. Some of these people are so ridiculous, right? It's like they feel that they're the best thing since sliced bread, that you can't call them out. But look, for 2024, they're going to get a lot of call out. Lots and lots of calling out. Even if we have to put them in a cart and push them down the aisle, since some of them like to sit down in cart and possess themselves, we will call them out. If you work and you work hard for the people, fair enough, we'll give you credit. We're not here to chastise anybody. No MP, this is nothing personal. All we're saying is work and work and work. You've got to work. If you don't work, then you wouldn't get any kudos. Story done. If you don't work, you wouldn't get any kudos. All right, which other MPs? Maureen, Philadelphia. Chisel Chipepper. And hey, thank you guys for sharing the link. I know one of our pages is not up, but it seems to be up now. But share the link for us, please. I know it's Old Year's Night. Some of you want to do all year stuff, but it's okay. We'll continue to talk. Let me see who else. Somebody's saying Maureen, Philadelphia. Are you saying, Chisel Pepper, that Maureen, Philadelphia works or don't work? What are you saying? Siobhan McDonald is saying Cathy Hughes doesn't work. Siobhan McDonald is saying Christopher Jones doesn't work. Tabitha Haley doesn't work. You know, the truth is, people need to hear more from these politicians, these MPs. And I pause for a moment because I'm thinking, these folks used to be very active. Christopher Jones used to be very active. Tabitha used to be very active. Cathy Hughes used to be very active too. What happened? What is the problem? Why have they supposedly done too? Vala Lawrence, well, Vala did say when she she replaced whoever it is in Parliament, she did say that she's going to fight, she's going to work. But for reasons known, I'll give Vala Lawrence a pass. I'll give her a pass. But should she be doing more? Yes. Should all of them be doing more? Yes. Should all of them be working? Yes. Are all of them working? No. We don't see them. It's like they're afraid to speak out. It's like they're afraid to fight. But some of them, they're not afraid to dress up and take out pictures whenever they go to Parliament, as though they want you to see that they're working. They don't do that. They don't call out Jack Day, as Dexter is saying here, or when somebody calls them out, that's the only time they go out and they say something and they go back in and hide. They say something and go back and hide. I don't know, but for 2025, we've got to call them out. Mary Baird says all of them are lazy. That's a tough one. I wouldn't say. Let me see if I have 5 top MPs. This is the order I'm going to name them. 5 top MPs. I do believe that Nima Flu best works. You guys heard me say that. I do believe that youngster in Region 5, he does some work. Vince Roy Jordan. I do believe that's 2 out of 5. I noticed somebody mentioned Devin Sears. Devin Sears doesn't work. We don't see anything. There's no evidence. So he might fall in the category of one of those lazy members of Parliament because we don't see any work. People voted for him, but we don't see him. We don't see him. And it doesn't matter that he is an AFC representative. They get PNC representative. We don't see them either. They don't work. Well, Sharon Duncan, Sharon Duncan works. Sharon does some work. But like I said, can they do more? Yes, they can do more. Somebody says Natasha Singh works. To be honest, I haven't seen much of her, so I honestly, I don't know. Michelle Lampkin said Ganesh works. Work for me is being on the ground. We'll give Jermaine a plus also, Jermaine Figueroa, right? We'll give him a plus. But we don't want our members of Parliament to pomposette only on Facebook. We want to see them on the ground, guys, on the ground. And on the ground means they need to be Black Bush Polder. You know, we need to see them. And somebody tell Ganesh he got to, because they got to work. All of them, they got to work. Working for these MPs, some of these MPs is just their arch tongue. They take a little picture Whenever there's some dignitaries thing in, they take a little picture and they're gone. And they're gone. And that's not work for me, and that's not going to be acceptable for 2025. You guys should not be afraid to call your politicians out. They're being paid by us. They're being paid by you, taxpayers. Without you, some of them wouldn't get money at the end of the month. And some of them have another job, and they treat the other job far more important than you, the people. Close to $300,000 they make per month. Close to $300,000. You know how many Guyanese would love to make that? But some of these guys, they get $300,000 per month. They get a duty-free concession vehicle. They don't have to pay tolls and so forth. But yet they feel that that is not sufficient. It's not sufficient. They go to Parliament once every blue moon, and that's it. They show up at a market. They snap 2 pictures buying 2 okra, 2 balanje, and 2 eggs, and they gone their way. When was the last time you saw a politician for the opposition in Blackbush Polder? When was the last time? When was the last time you saw the member of parliament for Region 6? One of them is known. I feel he's a good human being, so don't get me wrong. Pandit, oh gosh, his name will come to mind. Dinesh Jaiprasad. He's in Borbis. We need more action from Pandit Pandit Dinesh Jaiprasad in Region 6. We need more action. We need to see these guys more on the ground. We don't need to hear the silly complaints by some of them that them dep on the ground, and because them dep on the ground, they know what's going on. It doesn't work so in politics. So you tell some of those individuals, it doesn't work so in politics. It doesn't work so. Now, Pandit Dinesh Jaiprasad is in Region 6. We need to see Pandit Dinesh Jaiprasad on the ground. And now, oftentimes when these guys are caught, they say, forget about Ben Sharp. Forget about this person. Forget about that person. Because they don't know what they're talking about. We do a lot of work quietly, you know. Politics is not about doing a lot of work quietly. Politics is about doing your work and let the people see. And once they see, then they are going to be motivated. When was the last time you saw them out there in Blackbush Polder meeting with the rice farmers, the other farmers, the people of Blackbush Polder, registering their concerns and so forth? And come on back. Let those things hit the news. Take some videos. Let us see that you guys are talking to the people. Hazel Johnson is correct. Visible work. This is not about emotions and sentiments and all these things. Some of these guys that I'm talking about, some of them are my friends. 1 or 2 of them are relatives. And so there's nothing personal. They believe that when you call them out, it's personal, and so their bumps raise. Their bumps raise. Well, if the bumps raise so easily in 2025 from tomorrow, the bumps gonna raise big. Because they're gonna have to work for their money. If they want to get involved in politics, they have to work for the people. This lazy approach isn't going to be accepted. It's not acceptable. It's not acceptable. The crimes throughout the country, every day is now a shooting. Somebody shooting somebody. Big gunplay up in Linden. Patai, pai, pai, pai. You think it's one-man band. When you look around, this gunshot. Patai, pai, pai. Reminds me of back in the days how reggae used to be. Buddha bye bye bye, Buddha bye 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 bye. Buddha bye bye bye, Buddha bye 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 bye. That's what's happening in Linden now. Buddha bye bye bye, Buddha bye bye bye, pie, 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 and police right there, and nothing is happening. But since crime is on the increase, the question I'd like to ask is, where is the shadow minister of Home Affairs? Or maybe the question I should ask, who is the shadow minister of Home Affairs? Who is the shadow minister of Home Affairs? Do you guys know? Can someone tell me? If so, or whoever that person is, why is that individual so quiet? Issue a press release that crime is on the increase and too many people with guns, because monkey see, monkey do. That is what they're following, those corrupt guys in the PPP regime who go in to these communities and give these youngsters guns. That is what's happening. It has to stop. I don't know who the minister of the shadow minister of Home Affairs is. I think it's probably I don't think it's Geeta Chandan. I think it's probably Kemraj Ramjatan. Chisel Chipepper 68 says it's Kemraj Ramjatan. And Kemraj Ramjatan has been so quiet on these issues pertaining to crime. So quiet. They get some opposition politicians. They're more concerned about reporting about American politics. And when you ask them, what about politics in Guyana? They're quiet. They may want to talk about the... Anyway, speaking of American politics, Jimmy Carter, you guys know, passed away. Jimmy Carter, the age of 100. That's my first interview with Jimmy, President Carter, back in the early 90s. And he passed away. But the PPP is jumping out and praising Jimmy Carter for restoration of democracy and lashing the PNC, lashing the opposition, and all manner of things. And the opposition taking the lash, left, right, and center, not one of them coming out to defend themselves, not one of them coming out to defend the party. Look, people have their opinions of Jimmy Carter, President Carter, and they're entitled to that. But President Carter, back in 2001, was in Guyana just before the 2001 elections. And President Carter requested an audience with me. We were at the Pegasus, and while we were at the Pegasus, he finished his press conference, and he called me. He said, "Hey, Mark, can I talk to you for a minute?" And that's President Carter. And so the impression that I got from President Carter is that he was fed up of the PPP regime. That's just the impression that I got, that he was fed up of the PPP regime. And over the years, the Carter Center became extremely fed up of the PPP regime. But what the PPP, what Jack Dale and Irfan, they're doing now is they're trying to paint this impression as though the Carter Center and President Carter, now the late President Carter, loved the PPP, and that the Carter Center wants to see the PPP. Now, that's not true. That is not true at all. The truth of the matter is the Carter Center, again, not to repeat myself, have serious problems with the PPP regime, serious problems with the style of governance, serious problems with Jack Dale and corruption, and the fact that the PPP is in bed with drug lords, money launderers, and terrorists. How could the Carter Center be comfortable with that? At least they're not comfortable with that. And so the PPP wants to paint that impression that the Carter Center loves them. They want to paint the impression that Carter loved them. That is not true at all. And I hope that the PNC folks, will put out a press release to set the record straight. They cannot allow the PPP to control this narrative and to think that the Carter Center and President Carter love them. That's not the case at all. Tom Anderson, good night and welcome.
Hey, good night. Happy New Year, Mark. Happy New Year. How's it going?
Not too bad. Thank you. Good to see you. President Carter, your take on President Carter. Let's get right into that, Tom.
Well, yeah, he was, much greater influence on the world post-presidency than when he was president, right? So he just did so much work for the world, a very charitable man, hard worker, just did so much representing America around the world, the better parts of America, helping democracy everywhere. It's he was old. He was 100 years old, so he made it a long way. Too bad he couldn't see Kamala Harris win, right, on his way out. But nevertheless, that he's a big figure that the world lost. So I just say rest in peace, and bless his family. And
absolutely. But President Carter and his organization, the Carter Center and so forth. And I've read some comments coming from the PPP, Tom, and I've noticed people already wishing you a Happy New Year. Yep. They just wanted to see their Tom Anderson.
Happy New Year, everyone. Thank you.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw, though, that the PPP is making it appear that the Carter Center and President Carter just love them. These are people who are in bed with drug lords. These are people who are in bed with money launderers, terrorists, and all these things. Do you see the Carter Center, or even the late President Carter, embracing these sort of things?
Of course not. But at the same time, the Carter, what the PPP probably what they're interpreting is that Carter and the Carter Center, they are always of the highest standard. They are always ones to respect everyone's country and their sovereignty. And so, of course, they never said to the PPP to their face, hey, we know you guys are corrupt and you're bad guys. No, most of the language to them was probably the type of language to try to encourage them to get better, to leave the ways of corruption and whatnot. And so they probably misinterpreted that for, oh, they like us, right? So that's all that was, more than likely. Most of the Carter Center people are there. They mean business. They know what democracy is about. They want fair elections and they know about corruption. But what they're trying to do is get access to countries that are not America. And the only way to get access when you're dealing with guys like from the PPP is you got to kind of smile and never say to their face things that will offend them. That makes them think that you like them. No, what it means is that the nation of Guyana was important to the Carter Center people. It is important. It was important to Jimmy Carter. And that importance rises above political partisanship. Okay. The Carter Center is there to help the people of Guyana, not to help the PPP. They, of course, are thinking in their PPP ways, and they believe that, oh, if they're being nice, it's not about the people of Guyana, it's about us. That is not the case. It's about the people of Guyana. And that's another thing that they should learn going forward. The PPP is that it's not them that makes Guyana great. It's the people of Guyana that makes the nation great. And they should always keep that in mind and continually remember that, especially going into 2025.
Well said, Tom Anderson. And the PPP has to stop with this nonsense, giving the impression that the Carter Center is all for them. There's no evidence for that. Carter Center, we got to give kudos to at least Desmond Hoyt as well. The fact that Desmond Hoyt and the PNC guys they're always willing to show that they are democratic, to show that they believe in democracy. But yet it was the PPP who also had serious problems with the Carter Center. And they were very uncomfortable with the Carter Center because the Carter Center folks, including President Carter, was calling them out. In fact, in a meeting with President Carter and myself in 2001, President Carter was very concerned about the way the country was going. President Carter was concerned about human rights violations. He was concerned about so many different things. And of course, he was uncomfortable with Jack Dale's presidency, and he was uncomfortable with the PPP. As this quote says here, America did not invent human rights. In a very real sense, human rights invented America. And speaking of human rights, Jack Dale and the PPP, they violated thousands upon thousands of people's human rights in Guyana. Scores of persons were slaughtered under the PPP regime. Scores of folks were incarcerated, unjustly incarcerated under the corrupt PPP regime and other human rights violations in Guyana. So help me God, the PPP guys have the nerve to say that the Carter Center loves them? Absolutely not. You want to pick up on anything there, please, Tom?
Well, you have to, even when I come on the show, right? Some people think that I'm here to sometimes make the PPP look good, or I'm saying good things about the PPP. And that's not the case. What I'm trying to do is what anyone tries to do who cares about ethics and they care about transparency, is we try to say what we believe in the nicest way possible, because we understand that when you have groups like the PPP in charge of a nation, you have to watch what you say. You can't just say whatever you want to say with these guys, because they will lose it. Okay. They are used to doing things that are underhanded, that are above they want to be above the law. You know, that's what you're dealing with when you're dealing with them. So of course, people from the outside are going to be ultra respectful. We're going to try to say what we want to say as in the nicest way possible. And sometimes that comes across as we like the PPP. No, what it is we're trying to be good international citizens, and we're trying to help people who need some help. And we're trying to do it in the most respectful way possible. Right. And yes, we have to show the PPP respect. You know why? Because yes, they are in charge of Guyana. They may be corrupt. They may do things that are not the best, but they are there as a party. They are in charge. And so we outsiders have to respect them in their country, which I do wholeheartedly, 100%. Now, yes, I will be critical. And guess what? The Carter Center guys, they will be critical too, right? But at the end of the day, we are, as outsiders, we are going to respect the PPP. We're going to try to tell the truth in the best way possible. That may not sound like what people want to hear, but it's what we have to do, because we respect the sovereignty of Guyana. We respect the people of Guyana. We respect what's going on there. And so we have to respect the PPP as well. And that's probably what people are hearing when especially the PPP, when they think of the Carter Center people, what they're hearing is respect, and they respect us. And well, it's not because of them. It's because we respect Guyana and the people of Guyana. And they just so happen to be the party in charge of that. But it's because of Guyana that we hold that respect and the people there, right? It's not because of the PPP. Do not get it confused.
Do not get it confused, guys. If you're now joining us, Tom Anderson is here with us. And so I'm glad that, Tom, you have made it quite clear that the Carter Center is about not about the PPP, but more about the people. And that is what we saw. All we're saying is that the PPP has to stop the nonsense in trying to make it appear as though Carter Center just loves them. And as a result of that, this is what they're doing for the PPP. No, it's not about the PPP. It's about the country. And Carter Center has had fruitful discussions with PNC individuals as well. And of course, they will tell a different story concerning those vagabonds in the PPP regime. Tom, what else is happening in your neck of the wood that in the U.S.? We know that on the 20th of January, new president. And then on top of that, we're hearing about the border czar and all manner of things and immigration. What's happening at your end of the world?
Well, we're just now starting to get into, the rubber meeting the road. Okay. And so it's all been theory up to this point. No one really knew what was going to happen with Trump coming in and winning. Well, we are about to find out. and it is already getting crazy. There's a civil war going on within the Republican Party between the tech guys out from the West Coast, Elon Musk and these guys, against the MAGA Tea Party guys who are, they're the ones who want the mass deportations and the closed off borders and all that stuff. While Elon Musk, he wants a lot of H-1B visas. He wants way more. Okay. Him and the tech guys want way, way more people coming to the United States. I'm in the position of like the tech guys. I agree with them. We need way more people coming to the United States because we need more people here. We do. Okay. We don't need fewer people. We need more. And the mass deportation thing, it just doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense. And so, like I've been telling you, Mark, I really think that they're going to try to make it seem like they're doing a big thing, but it's not really a big thing. And I think they're going to focus in on New York City. That's going to be ground zero because Mayor Eric Adams is compromised with his indictment, and he desperately needs help from the Trump people who I'm seeing lately more and more. They're kind of laughing at him because he has to beg for their help. And so that city is wide open. The police chief just resigned under a cloud of controversy because apparently, from the reports, he was almost basically running a harem of all these women underneath him. He was getting them paid hundreds of thousands of dollars in overtime, but they had to have sex with them. Apparently, that's the accusation. So he had to go. There's just mayhem going on in New York City, and so I think that's where the Trump people are going to plant their flag. They're going to take over that police department, and they're going to try to do some really showy raids in New York City. But I think that's about it. Maybe in Philadelphia they'll have some stuff too. But it's going to be hard with Krasner and those guys there. So, yeah, there's a lot of noise coming out of us. But at the end of the day, when you really see where the rubber meets the road, I don't know if there's going to be such a crazy mass deportation thing going on, number one. And then on top of that, the Ukraine thing is looking out of control, too, because Putin and the Russians told the Trump people, we don't want your deal. And the Trump people seem pretty dead set on making sure that there are British and EU troops on Ukrainian soil, no matter what happens with the deal. And if that's the case, that's because the Trump people want to do business deals in Ukraine for the rare earth minerals there, for the natural gas, the oil, and everything else going on there. So, big things are about to happen in the world. I don't think they're going to be as huge as everyone says they are when it comes to immigration, for example, but it may look showy. And I would say for people in New York City, you should probably look out because that's going to be where most of the action is going to happen, I think. But I think that's going to be it.
Yeah, in New York City, folks have to be very careful. Lots of action expected. Lots of talks too, people just have to be very cautious. As we head back to Guyana, this young man, Quindon Bacchus, this is why people just do not like the PPP. Most Guyanese do not like the PPP. Most Guyanese want the PPP out of office. And I believe that most Guyanese will be voting them out of office. This young man was killed by members of the Guyana police force. Recently, we heard the state will, meaning the PPP government, they will challenge a recent judgment by the Supreme Court, which awarded $24 million Guyana dollars, which is just about maybe over 200,000 US, to the family of Quindon Bacchus, who was shot dead unlawfully by the police in June of 2022. The state has announced that they will appeal this case, will appeal the judgment. Shame on the corrupt PPP regime. Shame on them. What's your thought on this here? This appeal. The police killed him. The police killed him.
Now this just goes to show, right, that once again the PPP, they're not in a position to lead the region of this part of the world when it comes to society, culture, law and order, transparency, right? So the nation of Guyana has all these riches, oil riches, natural resource riches, all of that. But the leadership right now, they don't have much to offer to the world at all. Okay. Because if you want to be a leader in the region, you have to be able to look at cases like this and realize, hey, man, like the little bit of money that was given to this family for the loss of their loved one, that's not even enough in itself. But then on
And
top
I
of that,
said,
you're going
Tom,
to appeal that.
I said 200,000 is actually 110, 120,000. Thank you, Miss Francine Cruz and
Yeah.
Chisel Chipper.
Yeah, that,
110,000 US
yeah.
dollars.
And no
Continue.
dollar amount of money is going to bring back someone's loved one. Okay. Period. And so for them to appeal this, it just goes to show you that they have like a backwater mindset. They have an insular mindset. They have a mindset of like from the 1950s or something. And that's the problem with the PPP, their mentality, right? They don't have a mentality of one where they can see the wider world around them and realize, oh, when we do things like this, we actually scare off the rest of the world, because the rest of the world looks at that and goes, those guys are barbarians down there. Like, what are they doing? That's how that they look bad. And they don't realize it. They think this makes them look good and strong. And they're so backwards on that. So yeah, this is a sad day, because you would hope that Guyana could be that place that could be a shining beacon, a shining light in the region to show other governments this is how you do it. This is not how you do it. This is the opposite of how you do it. I don't understand, especially considering how much oil wealth and natural resource wealth is in the nation. This isn't a money thing. They're just trying to hurt a family that's already been hurt to the point where you can't hurt them anymore. So this is just kicking sand in their face when they're already down. This is deplorable.
Yeah, it's beyond. It's beyond.
Deplorable.
And I noticed someone is saying, Carl Miller is saying, he hopes that when they appeal it, that the appeals court will grant him double that amount, his family, double that amount.
But
Shame on the PPP.
But Mark, but no dollar amount can bring him back.
Exactly.
And that's what's more important. Who cares about the money, right? And so this whole appealing of this just makes it worse on the family. Way worse. They have to go through more trials stuff, go to court, some more court. They have to go to the court and stand in court and listen to this and that. This is wrong. They've already been through enough. I don't know what's wrong with these guys, but this is backwater. They need to step away from stuff like this, and they need some training classes or something to learn that you don't do this. This is just wrong.
Tom, so true. You just don't do this. This is wrong. This is heartbreaking. And a good night to the family, man. Family members and friends of Quindon Bacchus who are watching. The folks, whether on the ground or not on the ground, will continue to fight for justice. Shame on the PPP.
Disgusting.
Shame on the state. Shame on Anil as well. Tom, earlier we heard report that there was a alleged robbery at a Chinese restaurant. I noticed there's someone there with a gun in his hand. Do you know that that's a policeman, Tom? No identification, no badge around his neck. What if another bunch of police from other areas roll up here now, so to speak, and they see someone with a gun in their hand, no identification? That guy is actually a policeman. What's your take on this picture, though? This is a alleged robbery suspect.
Yeah, I don't know of the exact details of it, but I will say this, it shouldn't take multiple people with guns like that. I see a long gun in the other guy in his hand, right? Out in the open from a Chinese restaurant robbery. I mean, what's going on here?
The point I'm making, Tom, no
I was
identification.
about to get to that. Like, not only do you have multiple weapons out, but on top of that, it's like you've got the Miami Vice undercover drug narco cop, and he's doing Chinese restaurant robberies. How does that even make sense? Like, I understand how you have to have undercover police in unmarked vehicles and in clothes that aren't police uniform. I get that. And that's for stuff like drug interdictions and dealing with drug lords or some kind of gang violence. But to use that type of a person for a Chinese restaurant robbery, that's That's something else. That's something new, man. That's something new.
But
That's strange.
this is the suspect that they picked up earlier. They escorted him to the hospital. Apparently, he was shot. And guess you think he's sleeping at the hospital, Tom, as of now? This suspect.
Well, he should be.
Well, here is the breaking news. Sherwin Duncan, age 20 years old, a laborer of lot 775, Cummings Park, Sophia, escaped moments ago, right? So this guy, according to the police, moments ago escaped on the police guard. On the police guard at the Georgetown Public Hospital, he escaped. That is according to police. This youngster escaped, again I repeat, on the police guard. What is your take on what's happening in Guyana, man?
I mean, when the Miami Vice cops are doing Chinese store robberies, then yeah, I could see how the guards, the cops who are guards at the hospital, well, what are they gonna do, right? I mean, this is some low level stuff going on right here, man. I don't even know what to say. This is like, whoa.
So they caught him, apparently shot him too, escorted him out. He's limping. They make sure they took a nice photograph, took him to the hospital on the guard, on the police guard. Breaking news. Breaking news. He escaped.
Well, now he's a real criminal. Now the undercover cops should go for him now. Now this is when the undercover cops, the guy without the marked vehicle and no uniform, that's who should be looking for him now, because he escaped custody, right? He's like a real criminal now. The Chinese restaurant thing, I mean, I guess the guys who own the Chinese restaurant must have connections, because they got the captain of the head of the investigative unit in the Guyanese police force to come down to their restaurant to arrest this guy. That's pretty amazing, man.
You know, this is strange, Tom, because according to the news here, Travis Chase News, breaking news, 20-year-old Sherwin Duncan, who was arrested today following a robbery at a Chinese-owned restaurant on Dennis Street, Sophia, has escaped from police custody. Nightly News understands that Duncan was on the guard at the Georgetown Public Hospital when he escaped. A police constable has been placed under close arrest. So this guy has escaped, and a police constable is now under arrest.
That's what I'm saying. That's what this looks like. By the way, Sherwin Duncan, he looks malnutritioned, man. He looks malnourished. Like, he's not eating well at all. So if he's robbing a Chinese restaurant, maybe this man just needs food. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but he looks real skinny, man. Like, really, like he hasn't been eating properly for a while. And that's unfortunate. I've seen too many people in Guyana look really skinny like that. And I don't understand how that can be in a nation that's full of food everywhere you look.
Now, wait a minute, Tom. Wait a minute. Not because people are skinny means that they're starving. Come on now, Tom.
That's a different kind of skinny right there, bro.
But I mean, and this is supposed to be the fastest growing economy, and people are starving in that country under the PPP regime. But you know what's going on here, though, Tom? Something is fishy about this quote-unquote escape. Something isn't right about it. And we wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow morning we hear that he is dead. Let's not be surprised that tomorrow morning we hear that he is dead, that he confronted police.
That wouldn't surprise me.
This may be some sort of a setup. That's just my opinion, based on how I know the Guyana police force for the most part, not all of them. They operate in manner that they send these young men out to go and do robberies. They have police officers who do that. They set robberies up for these young men. And now this guy is under guard. He is injured. A police constable is there. And this guy just escaped just like that, just walked out.
And where
Something
and
isn't
where is he
right
going to
now.
go too? Where is he going to go? That's the other question I'm wondering. Where is he going to go?
In
Because
the hospital compound,
there's
you
not
know,
there's not many places you're going to be able to hide in Guyana where they're not going to find you. I mean,
the
it's
reason why they allowed him to escape so that they could finish him off.
yeah.
And that's the thinking of some of the police around. Bye, we could have killed you, bye. Right?
Mm,
And so they allow him to escape so that they could finish
yeah.
him off. I'm not
Yeah.
wishing that on the young man, because sometimes poverty, Tom, especially, in Guyana, the PPP regime is starving people. They don't give these young men jobs. They treat them like criminals. They treat them like they're not worth anything. And so the guys, like, they see people like Jack Day and Irfan and all the members of parliament for the PPP and the ministers, they're getting richer and richer and all manner of things. And these youngsters get frustrated. I'm not condoning what they're doing, but this is a 20-year-old little boy. This is a little boy. No way he should be picking up gun, according to them, mind you, to go rob a Chinese store. What is there in a Chinese restaurant other than
Food.
pork fried rice
Some food. I mean, he looks hungry, bro. He
and
looks
couple
like he
dollars?
needs a lot of food.
Something isn't right about this, Tom. Something isn't right about this situation here.
Or maybe there's something in that Chinese restaurant that's more than food. Right? Maybe there's something else that's very valuable.
Now, we oftentimes hear when they kill these banners. Now, if you rob somebody and you confront the police and you're killed, for me, I think that's fair play. If you shoot at the police and the police got to protect themselves and protect
Well,
the
yeah, they have no
citizens,
choice.
yes.
Yeah.
But when these youngsters are killed under questionable circumstances, as a human rights activist, we got to say, wait a minute, what really transpired that led to the shooting to death of the first suspect? And then this suspect was taken to the hospital, and a couple hours after, we're hearing breaking news, he escaped. Something isn't right here. That's all I wish to say on this situation right now.
You have a good instinct on this, and now that I think about it, when I think back on some of the crazy things that I've heard and read about in Guyana, that lines up with how things go down there. That's for sure. That this is like a setup, and they want this dude to run because that's the perfect excuse. Because, like I said before, now he's a real criminal. Because robbing a Chinese restaurant, that's not a high level. That's not high enough to shoot somebody. But escaping from custody and running loose as a fugitive, well, now you can get shot and killed, right?
Or suppose they kill him already. I noticed Francine Cruz is saying they killed him already. And therefore, they're going to just make it appear that he get away. As we say in Guyana, he get away. That's another way to look at it, as Francine Cruz has looked at it. Maybe they killed him already. Tom, I don't need to put you on the spot. I'm not asking you this question because I know how the Guyana police force operate. I know you've been keeping an eye on Guyana for 15 plus years. But something isn't right about this so-called breaking news and alleged escape. Something isn't adding up.
Yeah.
Injured at the hospital, the police guard, and he just disappeared like that. Walked out and gone. Something isn't right.
Yeah, there's something much deeper going on here, man. You're right.
Tom, let me show you a picture as we prepare to go. I know it's Old Year's night. I gotta go eat, Tom. I'm hungry. I'm hungry. I'll be eating cook up, not Chinese food tonight. Cook up.
How is Chinese food in Guyana, by the way? Is it good?
Read some of the comments of Chinese food in Guyana. Read some of the comments. What's your take on this here, Tom? That's the commissioner of police sitting on Santa's lap.
Who is Santa?
Probably Irfan Ali.
Oh, no. Well, that would make sense.
Or Mark Phillips.
Hey, I saw Irfan Ali the other day cooking up a pot of something. It looked like goat. He threw like 4 weary peppers in there. Yeah, he said that he's showing that the men can cook too. But the way he cooked it, man, he has a heavy hand. He just kind of slops it around in there and throws it around like, oh, he needs a lighter touch with that,
He's a
man.
heavy guy.
Yeah, he was just slopping it
He's a
around.
really,
I'm like,
really
nah,
heavy
man.
guy. Tom, what's what's your take? And not only that, too, as we prepare to close up here, look at your friend.
Oh no. Oh no.
Tom, it's always a pleasure, and we appreciate you in 2024. We appreciate all of our listeners as well. Wayne was supposed to have joined us, but I don't know where Wayne is. But we'll see Wayne
We'll
after
see
the
him
new year.
on the other side, man. We'll see him in 2025.
Yeah, we will see him in 2025. Tom, any big plans? I know you got a nice job at the university as well. Uh, I'll, I'll for 2025. I'm hoping to wrap up my PhD. I just probably thought I say that. I'm hoping to wrap up my
Oh,
PhD
congrats.
in 2025, um, hopefully, and other stuff I have in mind. Lots of other things, and I hope all of you out there, our listeners, your dreams do come true, or whatever else that you're planning for 2025. We are here for you. We are here to pray with you as well. Tom, what's some of your plans for 2025, my friend?
Oh man, well, I just got my so first of all, I'm finishing up the rough draft of a book that I'm writing with my co-author Isabel Vincent over at the New York Post. It's on Senator Bob Menendez.
Isabel, right? You're writing
Yeah.
with Isabel.
Yeah, man. So
Give her my regards.
I will. So I think
Yeah.
we're on we're on like chapter 10 right now. We'll be done pretty soon. I mean, we've got a lot in there. It's nothing like anything you've seen before, and it's not what anybody knows about when it comes to Bob Menendez. I mean, this stuff in there will blow your mind. It's a great book. So that's coming out next year, hopefully. And then on
Yeah,
top of that,
we can't wait to read your book, Isabel. Good team up. Good team up with you guys.
thank you.
And you have your podcast as well. We hope
That
that
and I'm doing my and my have my line of teas and tinctures, man. I finally got those out. So I'm doing that. What I want to do with my tinctures and my teas is I really want to travel down to Guyana. I want to work with some of the people there who know about some of the native medicinal plants, so I can learn about them and maybe grow some here in the States and start making tinctures and teas from some of the rare medicinal plants in Guyana. That's what I'm hoping for in 2025, man.
Thank you so much, Tom. You need to go eat some food, Tom. What's going on?
Actually, I've put on some weight, man. I need to start working out.
Thank you so much, Tom. We appreciate
Happy
you.
New Year, everyone. Take care.
Thank you. Appreciate it, my brother. Thank you. All right, Tom Anderson there. And to all of you, every single one of you, we love and appreciate you. Let's continue to spread the goodwill, continue to spread the good message, and continue to stand up and fight against a corrupt, racist, and vicious PPP regime. I heard tomorrow, 9 o'clock Guyana time. 9 o'clock Guyana time, they're sharing out 100,000 cash grant in front of Freedom House. 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, Guyana time, of course, in front of Freedom House. Can you believe it? They're sharing out money, 100,000 cash grant in front of Freedom House tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. I'm going to try to see how many folks are going to turn up in front of Freedom House tomorrow. Maybe you should in your hundreds and or thousands. Go out in front of Freedom House. According to information, that's what they will be doing, sharing out $100,000 in front of Freedom House or at Freedom House on Rob Street tomorrow. And Freedom House in New Amsterdam, they will be doing the same 9 o'clock tomorrow. And Freedom House in Linden. So all the Freedom House in Guyana, PPP Freedom House, 9 o'clock tomorrow, they will be sharing out the $100,000. And you know Freedom House is located on Rob Street, right? So we'll try to see the amount of people who will rush down to Freedom House tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock. All right, all of you, Desiree Simon, how are you? All the best to you and your family for 2025. Chisel, Bantu, Janet Elias, every single one of you. Ingrid, Carl Miller, Mary Figueroa, Hazel, Sparkling, Eva, everyone, every single one of you, Bonita, Eliza Parker, Deborah, Teresa Sandy Ford, Abida. I can't call all of your names. Jillian, Francine Cruz, yeah. Francine, we wish you all the best. I think Francine celebrated her 81st or 82nd birthday this year. So next year, Francine will be 83. Wow. All of our listeners heading up there. Carlos Smith, Errol, Short, all of you guys. From all of us here at 107.1 FM and my entire family, every one of us, and you know, Emma, yep. We can't forget my co-host Emma, Jonathan and Ryan, and Anne, and all of us, every single one of us. We love you guys. God bless you, and have a wonderful 2025 is going to be a great year, guys. A great year, 2025. I'm feeling it. Are you feeling the feeling? Yeah, I'm feeling the feelings. And all of you guys who came for immigration services and so forth, we thank you at Benchop Immigration Law. We thank all of you. Looking forward for more of your confidence in us in 2025. So long. Tata.
Basement level vibes with another one, straight up blackness. Aye, who tell the truth? Margaret Scott, defend the ghetto youth.
Yeah, my name is Jasity Caldata Francis Vietnam, and since 1965 I become a voter, and I always place my X next to the cup. And what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data.
Oh, Jesus Christ, if cost of living double, I don't know what happened. A pound of sugar is $300 already. Flour, everything gone up. Everything just raising. You gotta get about $40,000 for buy good ration. You gotta get 3 man now. A weekend man, a monthly man, and a
Put it, man. Put it. Yes, sir, you play too. Put it, yes, sir. Come, the man. Come now, stop irritating me, man. You have to play yes, sir. You don't play sir. So put it, yes, sir, the man, make me win. Hey, man, stop up, the man. Come to spoil, man. You can't help you, man.
Pleasant good night to you, Guyana. My name is David Benjamin, and I live in 65B Station Street, Kitty. And I just want to say that today I met the president of Guyana, and he reciprocated with me so great. I had to tell him that I can't believe you are such the boss of this country, such a great. Pleasant good night to you, Guyana. My name is David Benjamin, and I live in 65B Station Street, Kitty. And I just want to say that today I met the president of Guyana, and he reciprocated with me so great. I had to tell him that I can't believe you are such the boss of this country, such a great nation, and you. Pleasant good night to you, Guyana. My name is David Benjamin. Pleasant good night to you, Guyana. My name is David Benjamin. Pleasant good night to you, Guyana. My name is David Benjamin. Pleasant good night to you, Guyana. My name is David Benjamin. Pleasant good night to you, Guyana. My name is David Benjamin.
Yeah, my name is Jasity Caldata Francis Vietnam, and since 1965 I become a voter, and I always place my X next to the cup. And what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by 1 vote, they're losing it by data.
Pleasant good night to you, Guyana. My name is David Benjamin. Pleasant good night to you, Guyana. My name is David Benjamin.